Is your teenager celebrating 420 during quarantine? Do you even know what 420 is? Your teenager does, and that is this week's topic on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm the founder and clinical director of Teen Therapy Center and also the executive director of Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California, where we specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. Every Wednesday at noon, I join you on Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions, and this week is no different. We're going to jump into this week's 420 question, and here we go. I found a hidden stash of cannabis in my daughter's room while cleaning the other day. I don't know where she got it since she's only 15, but I'm afraid she's been sneaking out of the house to smoke it. And with 420 coming up, I have a feeling she has plans that don't involve staying at home. I don't want to start a big fight, but I also don't want her going out with who knows who to do drugs and risk being exposed to coronavirus. What the heck do I say to her about this? So, great question and timely. 420, if you don't know what 420 is, I'm going to elaborate on that for you a little bit. 420 is International Pot Smoking Day. Yes, there is an International Pot Smoking Day. If we have International Waffle Day, we can also have International Pot Smoking Day. It is on April 20th every year. How did we develop this? There's a big article down below. If you read one of the articles I wrote about it a couple years ago, another article in there from another source goes in the details of how it came about, but it's been around for a long time. Most, if not all, teenagers know about it, talk about it, joke about it. 420 is a big deal. A lot of kids who don't even smoke weed may experiment and try weed because it's 420, and that's what everyone's doing. Now, it's interesting because right now, during the self-quarantine due to COVID-19, things are a bit different. Some kids don't have the access. Some kids do. Some kids are going to sneak out. What are they going to do to have this weed? So let's talk about this question. So there's a 15-year-old girl, mom or dad found this stash, and what do you do about it? First thing is stay calm. This could cause a lot of anxiety, fear, anger inside of you, and it's important that you have that under control, because if not, you're going to blast your daughter, it's going to turn into a big argument, and nothing is going to get solved. So stay calm. Make sure you lean on your support, your spouse, your siblings, your therapist, your friends, whoever that is that helps you stay calm. Because one of you has to be the adult in the room when you talk to your daughter about this, and your daughter is not qualified to be that adult. You are qualified, so make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And when you talk to her, don't set her up to lie. Don't ask questions that because as soon as you start asking questions that have some ambivalence or vagueness in it, she's going to start panicking, and the equation is going to be, what do I need to tell my mom or dad to get off the hook? And truth is probably not going to be part of that equation. Just state the facts. I was in your room. I found this stash of weed in your room. I want to talk about it. Don't approach from a place of anger, of accusation, of judgment, of winning and losing. Just, hey, I want to talk to you. I love you. I'm concerned for you. No one's in trouble here. Let's just talk. Possibly that could open up a dialogue where you can start to understand your daughter's interest in weed. Is it something fun to do with friends? Is she going to say, oh, it helps me sleep at night. I can't sleep without it. I feel bored. I feel worried all the time. It's the only thing that helps. And she'll give you a lot of this stuff, justifying weed use. That it's medicine. First of all, very, very, very few people use weed medicinally. There are some, I'm sure. Using weed medicinally means that you take it just enough for those symptoms to subside, but you're not getting high. The vast majority of people, especially teenagers who are smoking weed, are doing it to get blazed, to get baked, get high, to get faded, just alter their reality, because that's fun. Getting high can be a lot of fun. Most of you probably know this already. Those of you who don't, it's a big part of our culture, and there's a reason why. Just like beer and wine and vodka are a big part of our culture too. But weed is more accessible. It's easier to get. It's easier to conceal. It's more a part of the teenage culture than alcohol is. I'm not saying alcohol is not, but weed has become much more prevalent within the adolescent culture. So stay calm. Have it be a conversation about things like decision making, legalization of weed, conformity versus non-conformity, the sense of self, how to possibly cope with struggles, emotional issues. You may even talk about your own experiences if you think it's important or necessary or relevant. But have this be a part of the conversation. And ask her, what do you think we should do about this? What should we do with this stash? And she may say, you should let me have it. Now that's up to you if you want to let her have it or not. But you should know going in what your boundaries are. Are you going to flush it down the toilet? Are you going to give it back to her? Are you going to do something else with it? You should kind of already have an idea of what you want to do. But have an open mind. Again, the smaller mouth you have and the bigger ears you have makes it more likely that your daughter will talk to you. And the more she talks, the more you can start understanding her perspective. The more you understand her perspective, the more she can feel understood and listened to, and she will respect your point of view even more. This is probably not a conversation that's going to happen just one time. It's probably going to be a conversation you have throughout her adolescence from time to time again, because weed is not going away. And the danger that she's going to try to sneak out on 420 and be exposed to coronavirus, or just sneaking out in the middle of the night, that's not a very healthy thing for a 15-year-old to do for obvious reasons. And you need to start talking about, what do we do? How do we protect your daughter from these temptations? And she may not be able to protect herself. And that's why it's really important that you're working with your spouse or your ex-spouse who you may be co-parenting with, making sure you guys are on the same page. It's really important. But again, this is not an opportunity to win an argument, to beat down your kid. It's an opportunity to have a thoughtful, respectful conversation, even if you disagree. It's not about getting her to agree on that first conversation. It's about opening the dialogue, opening the door, so there's a safety in talking about this. This is a very delicate situation. This is not an easy conversation to have for you or her. If you feel there are issues like she can't sleep at night, she's dealing with anxiety and depression, maybe it's time to start talking to a therapist. And that's when I would encourage you to start, researching who that therapist might be. And right now, with COVID-19, a lot of us are doing, online work, through Zoom or FaceTime or other platforms that we're allowed to use. Eventually, we'll go back to normal life and you can actually come in office, see a therapist. There are certain cases where clients can come in. We are an essential service, but like here, we're spraying down door handles and light switches and everything we can, as much as we can, keeping a safe distance away. But most of this stuff can be done online. So I think it's important to get her help if she is really struggling with anxiety and depression, if that's really the issue. It's a big topic. There's a lot to go over in this. Please, if you have more questions, contact us here at Teen Therapy Center or Child and Teen Counseling. Give me a call. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed therapist. And if you have your questions you'd like us to answer next week, you can email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com or direct message us right here on Facebook. We love your questions. Keep them coming. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.